Tony Stark's entire arc was the Doom template, the ultimate retroactive setup. For 11 films across 11 years, Robert Downey Jr. played Tony Stark, arrogant genius, obsessed with control, the billionaire who tried to build a suit of armor around the world. That is Dr. Doom's core comic book philosophy word for word. When RDJ walked out on stage at San Diego Comic-Con on July 27, 2024, unmasked as Dr. Doom, he delivered a single line that became the thesis of the entire recasting.
New mask, same task. What can I tell you? I like playing complicated characters.
That was Marvel telling audiences exactly what to think. Tony Stark was already Doom in ideology. Now RDJ is Doom in name. The evidence sits in the films themselves. Age of Ultron gave us Tony saying, "I see a suit of armor around the world." That is the sentence Doom has been saying to Reed Richards in the comics for 60 years. Planted the seed when Thanos told Tony, "You are not the only one cursed with knowledge." Cursed with knowledge is Doom's signature comic book self-description. Marvel has said Doom is not Tony Stark. Joe Russo told The Times, "There is nobody else in the world who could play this character." He is being careful about the specifics. But whether the story goes variant, resurrection, or thematic mirror, Tony Stark was the character who made Doom possible. The Sokovia Accords in Captain America: Civil War. Tony's authoritarian turn in 2016. He supported government registration and oversight of superheroes. He wanted heroes tracked, monitored, and controlled. That framework is Dr. Doom's entire political philosophy in Latveria. Every Doom comic ever written argues that superheroes should be regulated by a stronger central authority. Doom does not just believe in oversight, he believes in absolute rule. His argument is that Latverians live longer, healthier, and safer lives under his benevolent dictatorship than under any democratic system. Tony's version of the same argument dressed it up in United Nations bureaucracy. Doom's version just skips the bureaucracy. The visual metaphor was already there. Sokovia in the MCU was destroyed by Tony Stark's Ultron. Sokovia sits in the same fictional Balkan geography that Latveria occupies in the Marvel comics. Fans have long theorized that in the MCU, the region that used to be Sokovia becomes Latveria after Doom rises to power there. The theory picked up steam after WandaVision. The show teased Sokovia's rebuilding under a new leader. Marvel was quietly building the foundation for Doom's Latveria for years. Tony Stark was the character who accidentally created the political vacuum that Doom would eventually fill. Sokovia becomes Latveria. The Accords become Doom's charter. The MCU's most politically loaded storyline was always heading toward Doom. The Dr. Doom time platform in Multiverse of Madness. The most literal Easter egg fans missed. In Multiverse of Madness in 2022, John Krasinski's Reed Richards teleports into the Illuminati chamber. The device he uses is small, elegant, silver. It looks like a portal opener. Producer Richie Palmer later revealed on the film's audio commentary that the device is a direct comic book pull. The detail of the teleportation device Reed uses to get into the scene is something we took from the comics. That is Dr. Doom's time platform. Palmer confirmed it word for word. The time platform first appeared in Fantastic Four issue 5 in 1962, the same issue that introduced Dr. Doom. So Reed Richards borrowed Doom's technology to appear in the Illuminati scene. That single detail rewrites how fans should have read that moment. Marvel was seeding Doom's presence in the multiverse 2 years before the RDJ announcement. Nobody knew it at the time. Multiverse of Madness also planted the concept of incursions. In Jonathan Hickman's Secret Wars comics from 2015, incursions are ultimately caused by Dr. Doom. They lead directly to God Emperor Doom taking over Battleworld. The time platform was the moment they showed the audience the character was coming without saying his name. The 10 Rings signal at the end of Shang-Chi. The mid-credit scene of Shang-Chi and the Legend of the 10 Rings ended with the rings sending a signal into space. Something out there was listening. Something out there was answering. The scene featured Wong, Bruce Banner, and Captain Marvel trying to figure out what was intercepting the signal. Kevin Feige teased for years that fans would eventually learn the answer. The Kang plan was the original destination. Then Kang got scrapped. The signal became one of the great unresolved threads of the entire multiverse saga. Post-Doom pivot, the leading fan theory is that Dr. Doom is the one intercepting the signal. Latveria's magical technology combined with the multiversal awareness Doom has demonstrated in the comics makes him the natural recipient. A widely shared Twitter theory frames the beacon as a map to Loki at the end of time, with Dr. Doom pursuing both the 10 Rings and the quantum bands. Multiple insiders have suggested Shang-Chi 2 will finally resolve the beacon, but it might not wait until then. If Doom is already tracking the rings across dimensions by the events of Doomsday, then the signal in the 2021 mid-credit scene was actually a Doom setup that happened 5 years before Doom was even announced. Marvel was seeding him into the cosmic corner of the MCU while Kang was still supposed to be the villain. The signal was never about Kang, it was always about Doom. Every rewatch of that mid-credit scene hits differently now. If you're loving these breakdowns, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell. We've got more coming. Let's keep going. Ironheart's Mephisto deal, and Cynthia Von Doom. Ironheart released in 2025. The finale featured Sacha Baron Cohen's Mephisto in his MCU debut. He appeared inside a pizza parlor called Desperitos. He collected the soul of Parker Robbins, then he cut a deal with Riri Williams. Marvel had been teasing Mephisto since WandaVision in 2021. He finally arrived in Ironheart. The internet immediately started connecting dots. Mephisto's most important role in Marvel Comics is his ongoing relationship with the Von Doom family. Specifically, Mephisto holds the soul of Cynthia Von Doom in his personal collection. Cynthia is Victor's mother. The comic book storyline is called Triumph and Torment. Doctor Doom and Doctor Strange team up once a year to try to free Cynthia's soul from hell. They fail, they try again. Doom's entire crusade for absolute power is fundamentally about freeing his mother from Mephisto. Ironheart introducing Mephisto to the MCU months before Doomsday releases is not a coincidence. It is character setup. Kevin Feige told reporters at a press conference that now that Mephisto is here, the plan is to use more of him. Loki Season 2 and the World Tree. Loki Season 2 ended in 2023 with one of the biggest sacrifices in Marvel Cinematic Universe history. Tom Hiddleston's Loki destroys the temporal loom. He weaves the multiverse back together into a tree. Yggdrasil, the Norse world tree from Asgardian mythology now made physical across the multiverse. Loki takes the throne at the end of time. He becomes the god of stories. His job is to hold the multiverse together, to keep every branch of every reality alive. The finale felt like a self-contained ending. Then Doom got announced. Suddenly, the entire finale reads differently. Loki did not just save the multiverse, he built the infrastructure Doctor Doom is about to conquer. In the comics, the version of Secret Wars from 2015 ends with God Emperor Doom sitting on a throne carved from the actual Yggdrasil tree of Asgard. That imagery is now MCU canon. Loki is sitting on that throne. Doom is coming for it. Whether Doom kills Loki, replaces Loki, or absorbs Loki's power is one of the biggest open questions in the entire multiverse saga. Multiple leaks, including one from Alex Perez, suggest Loki has a significant role in Doomsday. The June 28th leaked image showed Loki visiting Steve Rogers in his human form. That image alone confirms Loki leaves the throne during Doomsday. Something makes him leave. The strongest theory is that he knows Doom is coming, and he cannot stop him alone. Loki Season 2 set up Doomsday's most important character dynamic. The tree exists because of Loki. Doom exists to take it. The Fantastic Four First Steps post-credit scene. The most overt setup Marvel has ever planted. Fantastic Four First Steps released in July 2025. The mid-credit scene jumps 4 years ahead. Sue Storm reads The Very Hungry Caterpillar to her son Franklin at bedtime. She leaves the room. She returns. There is a stranger there. A tall figure in a green cloak, kneeling in front of Franklin, holding a metal mask in his hand. His face is not shown. His voice is not heard. Franklin appears to reach out toward the stranger's face. Sue freezes. Every audience member in the theater realized what they were seeing. Doctor Doom had arrived. The Russo brothers directed the scene themselves on the Doomsday set. Matt Shakman handed the reins over. The scene was never meant to be a first step stinger. It was meant to be the opening of Doomsday. Doom kneels before Franklin because Franklin is one of the most powerful cosmic beings in the multiverse when he grows up. In the comics, Franklin's reality warping abilities rival the Beyonders themselves. Doom wants Franklin. Whether to protect him, use him, or replace the Beyonders with him remains the film's central mystery. The Dom Latveria coffee pop-up and Cynthia's blend. The wildest setup. Not in a film, not in a show, in a coffee shop in London. On June 2nd, 2026, the Russo brothers and Robert Downey Jr.'s Happy Coffee brand transformed Flying Horse Coffee in Shoreditch into a pop-up called Dom Latveria Coffee. The whole thing was themed around Doctor Doom's home country. Fans expected a trailer announcement. What they got was a menu. Every item was a deep-cut Doom lore reference. Cynthia's blend, named after Cynthia Von Doom, Victor's mother. Fortunov, named after Vladimir Fortunov, the ruler Doom overthrew to take Latveria. Zafiro, named after Cynthia's Romani clan. Hassenstadt Dark, named after Latveria's capital city before Doom renamed it Doomstadt. The Rapprochement, named after a Latvian holiday.